Hey, hey.
Hi.
Gosh, you guys, we've been home for a while now.
Yeah,
So we just had somebody write and say, are you guys okay? It's been 2 weeks.
it seems unbelievable that it's been 2 weeks because I guess there's a certain amount of decompression time or whatever, but
Yeah. And you're busy. We're really busy with a lot of stuff. So, anyway, we did make it home. There was a snowstorm in Denver, so that kind of delayed us a little bit, but it's all good. So we wanted to just kind of recap our trail experience in Europe and then answer some of the questions that some of you have left. I'm sorry if I've missed some questions. If I have, just write them again and we'll answer them. But we just had a fabulous time. I think our favorite adventure in the 3 months is the Slovene Mountain Trail for sure.
the Slovene Mountain Trail, partly because that kind of fits what we really like. And in fact, it helped us kind of to say, oh, we really like being out in the mountains.
Yeah.
Maybe more than doing like the Camino kind of walking. At
Yeah.
least at this point, right? At this point in our life, we feel like we're still able to do the mountain trails and do
Yeah.
some of the harder stuff. So
And it was totally out in the mountains, in the climbing and hiking and on a mountain path, which we love, in the Alps, which was incredible. It was different in that way. It had the huts, and that was great for this trail because this trail was really hard, so we could go lighter, and that really made a difference.
it would have been harder to resupply on the Slovene Trail. So it's good that they have the huts because that ends up being your
Yeah.
where you go for your stop.
So we just carried a little bit of food, little snacks.
Yeah.
So, and it was so fun staying in those huts. They were located in amazing places. The people were incredible. It was just super fun. And then our time in Croatia, we didn't spend as much time there, but we loved the coast there and what we did there, the national park. Croatia was beautiful.
Croatia is beautiful, and that was fun. We kind of did a little bit explore light.
Yeah.
It makes you want to go back and
It's fabulous.
spend more time.
I could definitely spend more time there for sure. And then the Francigeno, so that's our first Camino, the Italy, the Lucca to Rome. And we loved it. I mean, we love Italy. The people were awesome. And I just enjoyed going through those walled cities.
Yeah,
Love that.
yeah. That was one of the most surprising things was how many of those medieval cities you go through.
I know, every day.
It's not like, once in a while. Every day.
We slept in one just about every day, and you walk through a couple sometimes in a day. But man, that was just so cool.
Yeah, and it's like an outdoor museum. I mean, when you're walking around and you're imagining who's been there before you or what life was like or what it sounded like or smelled like, back. It's like being in a big museum that you're walking around in. We really enjoyed it.
We enjoyed it. It took a minute to adjust because the road walking was different. And after you come out of the mountains, and we were like, yeah, I don't really like road walking that much. But then you just kind of adjust because you enjoy what you're doing, so you adjust to it. But again, I think what we learned in doing a mountain hike and then a Camino is we really like the mountain backpacking more. At this point, we're going to prioritize those hikes over the Caminos, and then not that we won't do one. I mean, we might do another trip like this and then finish off with a Camino somewhere. But definitely, we love the backpacking.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I wanted to answer some of the questions that you guys have asked. So number one, I wrote some of them down. And I wanted to say this before I even start with that. Some people said, oh, that Slovene trail looks too hard for what I want to do. It was hard, and it was sketch, and it was difficult. But it was, so if that's not something you want to do, there is a trail in Slovenia called the Juliana Trail. And we looked at that, and it looks fabulous. I think it takes you about a week to do that. And it stays low, but it goes in the valleys of the Alps. And we actually bumped into it in Bovec, which is one of our favorite little towns in Slovenia.
It also goes up to the pass there as you go through the national park. So you're not low the whole time. You're climbing up, but it's not
the sketchy
you're not
stuff.
doing ridge lines.
Yeah. And I think it's a newer trail. So look it up, Juliana Trail. I bet it would be awesome. Anyway, so this is some of the questions you guys have asked. So number one, people ask how our packs worked out because we tried those new packs, the Gossamer Gear Fast Pack.
Fast 30, I think.
We loved it.
Yeah, they worked really well, and it's kind of weird because it's the way they're designed. You don't have to have the waist belt cinched up. You know, on our other packs, it's like your waist belt, you cinch it up, and that's carrying a lot of the weight. But the way these are designed, it's like the weight kind of presses into your lower back right there, so it's not, you don't feel like your shoulders are getting overburdened or sore. You know, there's the initial break-in when you first start wearing a full pack all the time. You're like, oh yeah, I remember this.
But they were comfortable.
They were comfortable.
They lasted. I mean, they're in good shape. Nothing happened with them. They have a lot of pockets. We carried less, so they worked well for this. Like, we didn't have our stove, our pot, or a big bag of food in there, so it was perfect. I think they're better at 20 pounds and under. That they will feel better. Yeah. So, so we really loved them, though. Really worth it.
They worked out really well. And there's a couple of changes I would make, but that's just me. I would put stretchy cord on the side so that you could stuff stuff in. It's not, it's just static cord. And I was like, why not make it easier? But
other than that,
they're great. And you could do that yourself. I mean, it's easy to buy a stretch cord.
So another question a couple people ask is how much the trip costs? And that's a hard question to answer because it really depends on how you want to do the trip and what time of the year you go and where exactly you go.
And what you're comfortable staying in and all of that. And Christy and I, neither one of us are big food people. We're not like... not big.
We don't like big heavy meals. So we ate a lot. We do this anyway. We go to grocery stores and eat. We get salad and fruit and vegetables, and we eat like that a lot. So we didn't spend a lot of money on eating out and that kind of stuff. But it all depends on how you want to do your trip. So we. For us, we did on the Slovene Mountain Trail, on that I put a video on how to prepare for that, so I don't want to go over everything, but you can join an alpine club. I think it might have been $40 or something for a year, and you get discounts in the hut, which pays off if you're going to do a through hike and stay in a lot of huts. And we got really great discounts on the stay, so we would do room and board, and we would probably pay anywhere, because they charge you each, so it would be like $35
to 50. I would say
to 50 each
between the two of us.
Or was that for both? That was for both of us. Yeah, that wasn't it? No. It was 35 to 50 each.
So and that's the whole trip, even on everywhere we were, I would say that we spent like 50 euros a piece or less during the day. So we weren't going over that, and it would average out to that. So, I mean, $100 a day for two people.
And that's 4 meals, because we got dinner and breakfast on the Slovene Mountain Trail. And
that's counting our other travel, too, in Italy and Croatia, everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, some days were cheaper, like when we were camping or staying. I mean, a lot of the time, we're going to be answering this later, or should I just answer it now?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, I used bookings most of the time to find a place to stay, and it's time of year. It wasn't that expensive. I mean, we would kind of look for the less expensive stuff.
We found a room for like $43. I mean, it would be like $45 for both of us for a night.
For nights for the room. So, and that was like, usually between 40 and 60 for our room for the night. So there were a couple of times when we maybe in Siena or something, when we got something different.
And Rome was more expensive. But what we found is Airbnb charges a lot of fees. They'll give a price, and then there's all kinds of fees. We did that one time in Rome just because it was hard to find a room, and it was great. It was right down center. It was okay. But downtown. But
the nice thing about bookings is that
that's what it costs.
It tells you exactly what you're going to pay, and that's nice when you're budgeting or whatever. You're like, okay. And if you're going to pay an additional $2 tourist tax, it'll say it's this much plus you're going to have to pay $2 tourist tax in cash.
And they were privately owned rooms where people rented them out. And so you would make your reservation bookings. You would hear from them. Sometimes we'd write them and say, "Can we get in early? We're already in town." And if it was clean, a lot of them said, "Yeah." Or, I'll tell you what, I'll text you when it's ready. They were great. And then a lot of times you didn't even meet the people. They would give you the code to get in. We would email our passport photos and information to them, and that's all. I mean, that's all we did. And so it was easy. And they were really nice rooms. They were big. They had refrigerators. It was great.
We didn't have a problem the whole time there wasn't a room that was dirty or that we felt like, it
was great. And that worked well.
And then, during the Francigena, when we were staying in some of the Pellegrino stuff, you're staying in the convent or you're staying at a church, that's pretty bare bones.
Yep.
But it's part of the experience. You're doing it to, for the
and you could do that all the way through and really go cheap. That's the choice that you have. Yeah. I mean, some of those will have a set price. It might be like $20 to stay in this convent or something. It might for a night. Some say donation based, but they recommend, and they'll put a little number, 10 to 15 euros or 10 euros. And so you just donate, you put it in a box. A couple of them will ask if you want a meal, and you pay like $15 more if you want the dinner or breakfast or whatever. Yeah, or 10. So they're all different. It's cheap. And you could go that route. We mixed it up. So we went that route, and then we got rooms here and there.
Well, and you definitely have to, people talk about that when they do Caminos. They'll say, "Oh, you kind of go, you know what you want." Like you'll stay at an albergue, and then you'll kind of be like, "Oh, I want to get my own room for a night, just for the, you just wing it."
Well, and what we found out, so we didn't somebody had asked us, how far in advance do you make reservation? For the Slovene, and somebody asked, why aren't there more people in the Slovene Mountain Trail? I'll answer both of those questions. The Slovene Mountain Trail, and there's certain parts of it that we see a lot of day hikers, just local people hiking. But there wasn't people in the huts. A lot of the huts, they were there eating. They'd hike up and eat, and then they'd go home. They'd go back down. So they were pretty empty at the beginning of the trail and at the end of the trail. But the middle part of the trail, when you're in like stage 3 through 9 or 10 or something like that, and you're going through that national park, goes through a national park for a long time. Those huts are really, really busy. So 6 to 8 months out, we made reservations for Triglav National Park because we read in our little guidebook that those are hard to get. So we got reservations there. And if you look at their website, if you get the guidebook, and you look up the website and you figure that out, you'll see how you do it. And you can just email them. Some of them you can reserve online, and some you just email and say, "Hey, I'm going to be here," and they will write you back. Now, other than that, we didn't make any other reservations because we didn't know where we were going to be. So all of our rooms then, Annette took over that part of the trip, and she used her bookings, and we, a day or 2 days in advance, would look for a room coming up. And even all the way on the Francigena, we did that. Even the hostels, because what we found is if we let the hostels know ahead of time, they were ready for us. So we would just email the hostels, or if they had WhatsApp.
So that's when there's going to be a hostel that you might stay at. Then in your guidebook, it'll list a web page or an email that you can go to, and then you can contact them and communicate back and forth. Mm-hmm. You kind of get the hang of it, like with your WhatsApp.
WhatsApp is an app to use.
You can text, but it has to be somebody who's on WhatsApp. So,
mm-hmm.
And to call someone, voice call somebody, they have to be in your contact thing. So, like, I would add somebody to my contacts, and then I would be able to call them on WhatsApp. Like, sometimes they'll say in their description, WhatsApp, we have whatever. So then you could do it that way.
Yeah.
And
so we didn't plan ahead. We looked, and we would find these little rooms, and we'd get places in the hostel a day or two ahead, all the way through.
So you're totally winging it. It's kind of like every day is kind of like a treasure hunt in a way. You're going to do your hike, then you're going to find your room. You know, it's got these directions to find it. Oh, I wonder what it'll be like. And, you know, some of them were surprisingly nice, and some of them were pretty bare bones, but
yeah, it was great.
did the job. And it was all great. It was fun. In that respect, it was fun. And, you know, we'd walk over to the local grocery store and grab some stuff, and they usually had an electric tea kettle. We'd
we'd have our hot drinks. God, we were happy.
I know.
There was one that didn't have
so simple to make us happy.
One didn't have a tea kettle. We were like, what? But we used pots and everything.
We didn't carry our cups with us, so we didn't have any cups. Like some of them.
One of them didn't have a pot, and they didn't have a cup. I was drinking out of the pot.
Yeah.
They had one little pot, and I would heat the water, put my coffee in it, drink out of the pot.
You just have to be careful not to burn your lip.
Anyway, so that I think answers that. So then somebody asked, how did you do with money? So we used our credit card most of the time. Most places took our credit card. Do you want to talk about? Because you can find credit cards with that don't have.
So you can. Well, everyone. Yeah, you just find a credit card that doesn't charge to do the exchange. That has a no fee exchange thing. So you look for a credit card that has that. You might already have one, or you get one, and then
the other thing is we pulled cash out. We got euros out from a ATM when we got there with our debit card.
We would get kind of a chunk of money so that we didn't, because you're paying a fee to use it and a fee to that, whatever.
There's fees.
Even though you try and find the most economical. And the other thing is, you know, we didn't focus on it. We did the best we could do. We tried to find the best information. We used our debit card.
And people say it's better at a bank. There was one at a post office that we used.
Yeah. But you can't, it's not that much. I mean, even if you used the worst one, it wouldn't be like, So you just pay. Yeah. You're not worried about it. It wasn't ever a big deal.
And so we'd get a chunk, and we'd hang on, each have some cash, because there were places that only took cash. And so we wanted to be prepped for that. Or if you get on a bus and you need to pay, some cash, and just to have cash handy was important.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we just, everybody took the credit card. There were a couple of huts in Slovenia that took cash only. But
there were maybe the whole time less than 10, I would say.
Yeah.
The whole time.
But so that we did. Let's see.
Someone asked if I'm still wearing my correctos. Yes, I am. I'm wearing them right now. I wore them for the whole trip. I wear them. They help me.
Yeah.
My feet never hurt.
Yeah.
That's a selling point for me.
Our bodies, you guys did really well. Both of our bodies. I had some aches and pains. That Slovene trail, my knees were tender, my feet hurt a little bit, but nothing injured where you couldn't recover. It was just really extreme downhill, uphill, rocky.
Yeah, I think you had a couple of days where your feet got a little bit sore, I think.
Yeah, I had pain.
And pavement walking is really hard on you.
Mm-hmm. But no injuries, and right now we're doing fabulous. We're back and we are moving. So the other thing, let me see. Somebody asked what the highest peak in Slovenia. So Slovenia, Triglav is the highest peak, and it's around 9,600 feet. So it's not like
plus minus.
Yeah, something around there. So not that high.
No, but the Alps are different. There's you have this. The tree line is at a lower elevation, and the snow line is lower. So it's just it's different mountains.
Yeah. So somebody asked, how much did we train before hiking? We always have a base, and we always train with our packs. And we did the Arizona Trail before we took off, and we were biking and hiking. I had to recover after that Arizona Trail, which kind of set me back. But we always train where we do strength training, we do our weight training, we do that every day. And then the thing we add different is we carry our packs. When we are out hiking, we carry our full packs or most of it, and we try to be in shape before we get out there.
If you want to bump up your fitness for hiking, carry a pack. Start adding weight to it and start carrying a pack. And It is different, and you feel yourself getting stronger. Noticeably different, though. It's a great way to get in shape and do that. Oh, it's starting to rain.
So somebody asked if what was our favorite town on the Francigena. I loved Radicofani. How do you say it?
Radicofani.
Radicofani. I love that one, but I loved them all. I love Siena. Radicofani.
You can spend a lot of your day doing
I liked Rome. I liked Siena, but there was another one with the lake. I can't remember the name of that one.
Bolsonaro.
Bolsena. But I liked them all. I mean, really, they're just...
we like that one. Then that Campagnolo one, the Campagna, that was way towards Rome. That was a really cool town, too.
Yeah.
We stayed right in the old part, and we were on the street. It can be a town. It's just a relatively small town, and they have all of these fashion stores. I mean, Italy is genuinely into fashion. So there'll be like a men's shirt store and a women's blah blah fashion and belts and purses and blah, all the way up and down these little streets. And you're like, that's amazing that they're able to support that.
And we would hang out our window, look around, and we're just right above all the stores and people talking and restaurants, and I love that in those little, alleyways, and it's just so cool.
It's got an energy to it for sure.
Love it.
We really enjoyed it. It's fun. Go out, get a little ice cream or something, and just enjoy walking around. And
it's fun at night. We'd go back out sometimes when it was lit up.
Trying to talk to people, or when you're getting your food, or when you're in the store, whatever. Trying to talk to people is fun.
It was really easy communicating with people, and Slovenian people, really easy, because they really at this point, the young people when they go to school, they learn English all the way throughout, so they speak super good English, like no problem.
Percentage wise, or at least percentage of people we ran into in that block, definitely more Slovenians spoke a
really
proficient English than Croatia or Italy. Italian people are very vibrant and very warm, so it's fun to talk,
But there was some times you find a way to communicate anyway. I mean, you find a way, and you have all these translates. I never used it. There was one woman in a hut in Slovenia. I was asking for a chocolate bar, and she couldn't understand me, so I typed it in her little thing, and she said, "Oh."
It's so funny because she goes, "Oh, chocolate bar." Yeah.
It's funny, but and I tried to use my Google Translate once, but I didn't have good service because we were up at a hut. But other than that, usually there's somebody there to translate. So
if you had an emergency, a medical thing or something where you needed very specific things, but otherwise it's so much. You don't want to be looking at this when you can be engaging with the people.
You figure it out. You figure it out. Yeah. So the other thing somebody asked was, did we bring town clothes? Did we send anything home between trips? And we did a video when we started that showed everything we brought. But we did bring town clothes, which is really a shirt and a pair of shorts, because, so when we would get to the huts, we'd have to get those hiking clothes off. I mean, you're sweating. I mean, you just totally take those clothes off and put those other town clothes on, which is shorts and a shirt. Yeah. And then we would hike in a pair of clothes, and we'd have a pair around town. So we did have that, yes. And we did not send anything home between trips.
Yeah, so we carried our tent the whole way, which a pound a piece. At that point, you're in such good shape. You're like, hey. So
yeah, we didn't. We didn't want to send anything home. It's hard to send stuff. I don't want anything to get lost in the mail, and it's expensive. And we needed everything because we didn't bring that much. And the tent we didn't use on the Francigena, so that's one that we didn't. But it didn't bother us. It's a pound. I mean, really, But we used it in Croatia. We used it in Slovenia.
So it was certainly worthwhile having.
Yeah.
Town clothes is really pushing it when you call that shirt and shorts town clothes. But yeah, we had them.
Town clothes for some people might be like all spiffed up. Not us. It's just a pair of shorts and another shirt.
At least it was dry and clean. Yeah.
Did we experience any harassment? Not one bit.
No harassment. No, I never even felt any ill will directed our way. People were very gracious, and a lot of people went out of their way to try and help us, and
no harassment whatsoever.
Yeah. So if that's holding you back, don't worry about it. It was great.
I mean, just, yeah, I would think about it, just like not a negative moment. I mean, there were a couple of bus drivers who were cranky.
Yeah, we've decided that being a bus driver must be a high-stress job.
You know, where they would just be like,
they're
what?
often really short.
Because sometimes you just don't, you want to make sure you're going in the right direction. But then some were, you know, but other than that, people were wonderful. Had no problem, no feeling of being unsafe ever. In any part of anything we did, there was never a feeling of being unsafe. Except that one drunk guy in the hostel,
And that
which
probably,
felt weird.
Yeah, that was just...
I think he was a okay person. I think he was just under the influence that makes you feel unsafe.
That's where you're like, that would have been unpredictable, yeah.
So, let's see, we answered that. Oh, the SIM cards. So, do you want to talk about that?
Okay, so now when you go to Europe or wherever, you can get an electronic SIM card, right? So they're called eSIMs. There's several different companies that do them. We use a company called Nomad. Really easy. You say, oh, I want $20 worth of data, and you download the app, and then you do the thing, and it gives you a month's worth of, a month at a time.
I think we paid like $25 for 20 gigabytes.
Yeah, it was a lot.
For a month. And we never went over that. And we got that. So we used Wi-Fi most of the time, if it was available. And then if we didn't have Wi-Fi and we needed something like to look at Google Maps, to call some of these places, and we weren't on Wi-Fi, which you're not when you're wandering around, we would use the SIM card data. And so that way we had service. And it worked fabulous. I mean, it took us a minute to figure it out. But
it took me one time. I thought I had gone through the thing and it was working, and then it wasn't working. So I had to go back into the app and initiate it again, and then it was working. But I could have sworn I went through all those steps and it didn't start. But
yeah. So, but that was easy, and that's totally. We didn't quite know what to do with that either. But so we had service all the time. Basically, there were some times we didn't have service with the.
Yeah, because
I mean, you had to have
you're
good
still dependent on cell towers, so there were a few. Yeah, there were some times.
And somebody had asked right after that, do you have to upload local data to load videos? No, I did the videos on Wi-Fi. So whenever I had Wi-Fi, wherever I was, so we'd get a room. It's time to do a video. I would find some good Wi-Fi, get on there and load the video. And one time I did use the SIM card data, and it didn't take that much because I just couldn't get Wi-Fi and I needed to get that on there. So, and that worked too. So, but that takes more of your data on that SIM card if you use that. But Wi-Fi was fabulous, and I mean faster than here. I got to tell you, I'd put those videos on, they go right on. So yeah, nothing special about that. Somebody asked, did you research your own trip or use a travel agent? We researched our own trip. You just start by figuring out what you want to do. We knew we wanted to do the Slovene Mountain Trail.
Yeah,
so then you just start researching
if you're doing a trail. When you're doing a trail, it's like you get in this linear world, and the trip kind of has its own rhythm. It'll plan itself. And not that you don't have to do all this stuff, but you're like, oh, I'm in this flow. So
yeah, we didn't even see anybody else who have done it that we followed. We started looking at it. There was a guidebook somebody recommended as I'm reading. I get the guidebook. It was a really good guidebook. And that's on our video too. I'll try to put the link down below on that. But and then you just start, and then in that book it talks about a website page. You get on that, you start trying to figure out their web page. You learn that you can get this Alpine Club. You just start learning stuff. So then you just make your choice of when you're going to do it. We started that trip August 7th, I think, walking. It was a great time to do it. We didn't have any weather problems. Right. So I think you just, and then we read as we were reading, oh, that Triglav gets really busy. Let's get those huts through there. So then we had to estimate out when we're going to start hiking and where we're going to plan the huts. And that, when you're going in a tent out here, when we do these hikes, we're just going and you plop down wherever you want. That took a little bit of work. I had to kind of make a plan where we were going to be and estimate exactly. I gave 3 extra days before Triglav National Park in case something happened with weather, something that held us up, because I wanted to make those reservations. But if something would have happened, we could have taken a bus and done that and then come back. So you just, But I would highly recommend that stage 3 and then Triglau, which is stage 6, I think, in the book, are the two really busy hut situations where you need. And really, after that, after the stage, even stage 7, 8, 9, we're busy.
Yeah.
There's 12 stages total. Because it keeps winding through the park. We didn't know it'd stay in that national park for so long.
All through the park was pretty busy, but man, that was fun. And we met some great people out there.
It was awesome.
And you know, it costs more money to do a guided tour, so we're probably not going to be doing that because we're more budget.
Plus, we like to do our own thing.
And we do like the autonomy of planning our own trip and
being flexible.
Being able to spend, let's spend an extra day here. Or, you know, let's do this instead of that. Let's go. We really like this. We really like this downtown area. Let's walk around for another few hours here. You know?
Yeah. So somebody asked what do we use for shampoo and shower gel and that?
Anything we could find.
I carried some.
Yeah, you did.
I had this little bottle like this that I can put a little bit of stuff in, and I would just buy some and fill that little bottle up, and I would bring some shampoo, and or I would just bring shampoo sometimes, a new shampoo to take a shower.
Right.
And then some places had stuff, so not very many. So we just carried what you wanted, what you want.
Yeah,
it's up to you.
I used some soap that was in the little hand thing a couple of times. You know, you're just making it work. It's not. It got to the point where Slovenia was very humid and it wasn't as much of an issue. But then later on in Italy, it was a little drier where we felt like we wanted some lotion. So
I carried some lotion. I put some weight in my back, but I have to have that stuff. I mean, the lotion, I get dried out. So anyway,
that's it.
So then somebody asked, what's next for us? So we right now are in Colorado, and we are planning on heading south, probably Arizona area for the winter, and who knows where else. We'll just roll around and make a plan. We're going to spend Christmas and New Year's down there somewhere in Arizona. We made some reservations. And then, oops, it goes to the door. And then as far as our next really big adventures, we're not sure yet. We have a lot of ideas of what we want to do, but we just haven't made a plan yet. So we will let you know when we make one. Right now, we're focused on doing a variety. Yeah, we're RVing, and I'm excited to get back RVing. And we're doing some moderate variety of exercises. So instead of extreme stuff, we're doing moderate hiking and then cycling, and we're doing our strength training and our weightlifting and
I wish you guys
stretching
could see us.
And
when we get back and we start on our weight routine and our core exercises.
It's so sore.
We are so sore. It's unbelievable. Even though you're coming off of a trip, so you're in shape, but it's all those different muscles and different. I was like, here we go. But now we're fine again.
Yeah. So we'll have some big stuff planned. I mean, we might backpack some national parks here, and we could finish the Arizona Trail, and we could, do the Sierras, and I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we could do right here in the U.S. We want to do Alaska and some stuff in there. So I don't know if that's this year or if we go.
Yeah, you have to start making. Those are plans that you have to really look at and block out big chunks of time and say, okay, that takes some serious.
And we want to do the hard stuff while we physically still can. So we're trying to prioritize that. Yeah. So that's kind of our plan right now. We'll keep you updated on it. And somebody asked us, what is the Coffee Fund link? So I'll put that down below.
So they can't use the QR code.
So the Coffee Fund, people on here recommended to us to put that on there for easy trail magic for the people who want us to do a trail magic. And you guys have been amazing. It's been really nice.
Super nice.
And you could leave comments. This is fun. But when we wanted something easy where people aren't trying to figure out how to send something, because we're moving all the time. We're in our trailer. So the Coffee Fund is you just go on there and you can buy a coffee, or you could buy 2 coffees or whatever you want. It's just this little thing that you hit. You could leave a comment. And I usually put the QR code at the end of the video. Or there's a QR code on our page, on the cover page of our YouTube video, but there's also a link. A couple people have asked me for that, and I keep forgetting to put that.
We'll put that on.
So in the comments, you can look for, I'll try to put the link to the gear that we took, that video, so you could just link to it. And I'll try to put a link to the coffee fund for those people who are asking. But other than that, you guys, thanks for coming with us. We love having you.
It was fun. It was fun making videos and bringing you along. And if you're thinking about doing it, totally doable. And, you know, you don't have to have everything. It's a very well-developed countries over there. You could buy, like, you know, we bought Christy's shoes. We bought. If you're gonna try and find Ultras, on the other hand, take them with you. I couldn't find them anywhere.
Lots of Hokas.
So lots of Hokas. Yeah.
I was gonna say something,
but it was fun. You know, it's a different kind of engagement. It's you're using different things to try and get around in a different country. You know, our transportation, when we'd be trying to move from place to place, you know, figuring out buses or figuring out a train or figuring out whatever. It's like, you know.
You guys, that's an important point, because Google Maps really helped with the buses. I mean, I've never used one. Used to Google Maps to find a bus here. You don't need to. But over there, if I wanted to go somewhere and I'd hit Google Maps, and then you could put walk or bike or train or bus or whatever, it would tell you exactly what bus stop to go to. That was really helpful. Really helpful. What I was going to say is some of you have left amazing comments about you all doing amazing things. Getting out, upping your game, doing more hikes, doing harder hikes.
Yeah, going on a trip, or, you know, trying something you've never done before. That's all really good to hear.
It's so fun to hear that. And I know that some of you are dealing with a lot of hard stuff too. So I think it's good that we kind of have a community to kind of stick together and motivate each other and keep it going.
Each other.
Yeah. So anyway, all right, we'll check in sometime, let you know what's up, and get outside, people.
Yeah.
Get out there.
Get out there, enjoy your life, be in your life.
Yeah. All righty.
Okay.
This is our international wall behind us in our trailer. And then this is the wall on the other side with all of our national parks and different things, our hikes.